There are many people and organizations that have made personal success seem elusive and expensive. There is a stigma associated with personal growth that it takes years of effort and or thousands of dollars in seminars. Neither of those are true. Anthony is here to offer simple and easily executable mantras to help us find more joy and success with the resources we have readily available. Please welcome to the stage Anthony Serio with his speech, Simple but Effective Mantras to Live By. Simple but effective mantras to live by, Anthony Serio.
Yay, cool, thank you. I have to tell you, one of my biggest pet peeves currently is when I am just trying to find something specific on the internet and I am bombarded by ads, either through YouTube or quick video links or emails from individuals saying, do you want stronger abs? Do you want more friends? Do you want to build your business? Do you want to make millions? It is so challenging in the current day and age to be able to navigate through the internet without coming across will solve any one of your problems for a small nominal fee. I have taken the numerous things that I have learned because I feel the greatest knowledge you will get is experience, but not just yours, those that you're willing to listen to. I have compiled what I have found to be the most executable, easily attainable, and for the most part, easily absorbed. Because I will tell you, another big pet peeve I have is when people use ridiculous jargon. Have you ever gone somewhere and had someone say something to you, whether it was a poem or an educational course, and you had to pretend to know what they were saying because they were using a bunch of quadrisyllabic specific jargon? Have you ever gone to an art gallery, looked at a piece of art and had absolutely no idea what they were trying to convey, but you pretended to understand because you wanted to come across as very artistically astute? I'm not in favor of that. I like simple wording because I want to make use of every moment I have of the most precious commodity we have today, the undivided attention of another human being. Here I will go over and elaborate on some of the most effective mantras I have either heard, learned from, or experienced for myself. Here's the first. You have to be with you all of the time. Seems common sense when you hear it. Once more, you have to be with you all of the time. But what does that actually mean? It means if you are doing things, if you are saying things, if you are living your life in a way that works towards accommodating or appealing others, but causes you to compromise on yourself, your mental or physical health, your well-being, your peace of mind, it isn't worth it. If 1 hour of peace with one individual causes you to stay up at night thinking about what you actually wanted to do or what you wanted to say, if you find that you have to compromise your own integrity and your honesty in order to attain friends or make more associations, it isn't worth it. Getting along with a person for 1 hour is not worth not getting along with yourself for the rest of the day. Understand that you have to be with you all of the time. Do things that before, during, and after bring you joy. Think about it. Let's talk about buyer's remorse. So it's exciting to find the product. It's exciting to purchase the product for an inexpensive cost. It's exciting as you anticipate the product's arrival to your door. And then you have it and you start to feel bad about yourself. It doesn't look or function the way you thought it would, or it does, and you realize you're not going to even utilize it. So you start condemning yourself and getting mad at yourself because of the purchase. That's called buyer's remorse. Remember that even if you're doing this for other people, if it's going to compromise your sanity, your joy, or your overall well-being, it's not worth doing. Second mantra, leave it better than you found it. This is something, if I only say one thing to someone I care for, it is that piece of advice. Leave it better than you found it. What does that mean? Well, there's small situations. Let's use an example. South Florida, you're at the beach, you look through and you can't seem to find a spot on the beach that doesn't have at least some litter, some bottles, a broken styrofoam cooler, something of the sort. And so there you are, continuing on to try and find a spot that you can just ease into, set up your chair or towel. But everyone else is going to experience that as well. Think about the minuscule amount of time it would take you, in that example, to just pick up those few pieces, find a nearby trash can, get rid of it, and actually give yourself the spot you really wanted to, where the waves seem to hit just right, and the sun is going to tan you just as you need it to. You can have that mentality in every aspect. If it doesn't inundate you with too much time or worry, try and resolve the issue so that way, whoever else is going to approach it has better ease or accessibility. Leave it better than you found it. That's just not with inanimate objects, that's relationships. Even if you have a falling out, a friendship, or an intimate relationship, do you find that as the relationship comes to an end, that you guys can allow bygones, to be agreeable? Do you find that you actually still are coming out better, perhaps more knowledgeable, more active, a larger circle of friends? What's their situation? Do you think that in some way they're a little bit better off as a result of being in a relationship of any sort with you? Leave that better than you found it. Third mantra, you don't get better at anything by doing it less. You don't get better at anything by doing it less. An example I'd love to give. In today's digital age, I'm one of those people I like to call. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear the cadence, the inflection. I want to hear that you're excited, not read that you're excited. But what I'm coming across, and many of you might be experiencing this as well, a lot of people don't feel inclined to answer or to respond to the call. They'll just text. And oftentimes their argument is, well, I'm better at texting. When in actuality, most of them aren't. They use acronyms. They don't even use full sentences. And a lot of them are better at that because they're negating the opportunity to become better communicators, better at putting their words into action, better at letting their emotions come through their voice, through their cadence. That's just a simple example. But in many aspects of life, we find ourselves, because of fear alone, not becoming better at the things that we know are almost inevitable. So you don't get better at anything by doing it less. And inversely, if there's something you want to get better at it, regardless of how difficult it may seem, do it more and more, and you will inevitably find a greater level of expertise. Fourth, kind of goes along with the one you just heard. Sometimes good enough needs to be good enough. Sometimes good enough needs to be good enough. What does this mean? Many of us claim to be perfectionists. A perfectionist, sadly, is not someone who executes fully and works to completion in a perfect manner. It's the inverse. When someone says they're a perfectionist, what they're really saying is, my obsession with doing everything perfectly ends up causing me to do nothing at all. It is much better to be an amateur at a few things than an expert at absolutely nothing. You need to be okay with it just being okay. Let's say you want to clean your house. Work little by little. Don't say to yourself, I want to clean my entire house. Break it up, compartmentalize. Say, I want to clean my living room. Leave it at that. And if and when you get to that point, move on to a bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, whatever the case may be. Inevitably, your end goal will be achieved, but only because you focused on small things that are a little bit easier to attain. Sometimes good enough needs to be good enough. Just a few more for the sake of time. Home is where you end your day, not spend your day. I understand that we live in an age where many people are allowed to work remotely. Fine, so be it. But even if you do have the luxury of being able to earn a living while being in your home, then take all of the additional time that is your own to venture out. The reason why this is so important is because if we don't make an effort to be out and about, there are two things that science and finances have proven. Number one, if you spend a lot of money on the contents of your home, you of course won't have anything additional to venture out into events, carnivals, whatever fun things might be taking place outside. You'll say, well, I just bought a TV, or my internet is too expensive. I don't really have a lot of money to do things outside. No, what's happening is a vast majority of your disposable income is being spent in your home to accommodate you being home. Now, the second thing that science and finances has shown us is the older you get, the less friendships you have. If you're not aggressive in your approach to either foster and nourish the relationships you already have, or to build new ones while being out and about, you will find that over time, you'll be in your 40s with a few friends, your 50s with very few friends, your 60s and 70s, wondering the last time you hung out with any of your friends at all. Home is where you end your day, not spend your day. I'll end with this one. Where the mind goes, the body follows. Where the mind goes, the body follows. Now, there's different facets where this rings true intensely. Psychology, of course, is a go-to, but your overall physical well-being. There's two psychological principles. One is called self-fulfilling prophecy. Self-fulfilling prophecy is when you say something so often, usually that's negative or detrimental, like I'm shy, I don't make friends, or I can't do that. What you're really saying is I haven't, and I don't know that I can. Self-fulfilling prophecy. The second is called preconceived notions. Preconceived notions is when before something even happens, you've already decided how it's going to go. So that means it has to be extremely inverse to your own mental well-being, to your own thought, in order for you to believe it to be true. Where the mind goes, the body follows. Your body is a vehicle. Your mind is the steering wheel. Motivation is the fuel. You can go as far as you'd like, and you can fill that car with other people you care for. But if you are mentally stagnant and overly complacent, all you're going to do is come with more and more excuses why you shouldn't, why you couldn't, and why you won't. Combat all of that. To review, you have to be with you all the time. Leave it better than you found it. You don't get better at anything by doing it less. Sometimes good enough needs to be good enough. Home is where you end your day, not spend your day. And finally, where the mind goes, the body follows. I have lived by my example. I have not been overly verbose. I have not told you that there is money that you need to pay. None of these things come as an additional expense to your regular life, and none of these things require anything other than your genuine desire and enthusiasm for them to start coming into your life and the benefits of executing them as well. Thank you so much for listening so attentively.